Did Max just hand over the championship? Oh no! Just a few days before the lights go out in Miami, Max Verstappen has thrown the entire Formula One world into chaos. A sudden personal revelation has sparked rumors that the reigning champion won't even be on the grid. With Red Bull silent and fans stunned, the stakes couldn't be higher. If Max really misses this race, the entire championship could shift overnight. And what's causing it? Something we know it was coming. Formula One isn't known for quiet moments. It's a world of high speeds, flashing lights, roaring engines, and non-stop drama. But in the middle of all this, Max Verstappen's name has suddenly been trending for something deeply personal rather than professional. Reports emerged earlier this week that Max and his longtime partner had welcomed their first child, a moment that should have been purely joyful. Yet within hours, speculation began swirling. Would this major life milestone affect his plans for the Miami Grand Prix? Some fans celebrated the news, flooding social media with well wishes and support. Others, particularly those watching the championship standings, weren't so calm. A storm was brewing, one that had nothing to do with weather forecasts in Florida. The timing couldn't have been more delicate. Just days before a key race, Max was reportedly staying in Monaco with his newborn, making fans and pundits alike wonder whether he'd prioritize family over Formula One, at least temporarily. While no official statement confirmed his absence, the silence from both Verstappen and Red Bull spoke volumes. In a sport where every point matters and every absence can be fatal for a title run, even the possibility of missing Miami sent shockwaves through the paddock. And let's be clear, this wasn't just gossip. Several journalists with inside sources confirmed that Verstappen's travel plans were in limbo. The race wasn't the only thing on his mind anymore. In a single moment, his entire season, possibly even his career trajectory, felt like it had changed direction. The question now was no longer just if he would race, but what this life-altering event might mean for everything he's built so far. Now, part 2, whispers inside Red Bull. Is he skipping Miami? What started as quiet congratulations quickly morphed into something far more complicated. Behind the scenes, whispers turned into headlines and headlines into theories. Would Max Verstappen really miss the Miami Grand Prix? It seemed impossible at first. Verstappen, known for his laser-like focus and relentless pursuit of victory, has rarely let anything interfere with his racing. But this time felt different. Dutch media began reporting that Verstappen's name had been pulled from provisional travel manifests. F1 insiders hinted that a personal emergency was causing travel delays. Red Bull Racing, usually quick to address rumors, went completely silent. That silence was deafening. It wasn't just fans raising eyebrows. Other teams, rival drivers, and even media veterans started questioning what was really going on. Christian Horner, the always composed Red Bull team principal, dodged press inquiries with vague smiles and rehearsed responses. Something was off. Even Verstappen's own social media went unusually quiet. Normally quick to share race prep or team content, his recent posts had gone dark. And in a sport where PR is as fast-paced as the cars, this blackout only deepened the mystery. Inside the Red Bull paddock, team engineers were reportedly preparing for multiple scenarios, one with Max in the car and one without. The uncertainty created tension that couldn't be ignored. With Sergio Perez already pushing hard to close the championship gap, Verstappen's potential absence suddenly became more than a personal decision. It became a team crisis. Would Max really stay home at a time like this? Or was this all just carefully calculated misdirection? In Formula One, even personal milestones come with strategic consequences, and every decision, no matter how private, echoes loudly across the grid. And this is why missing Miami would be a disaster. Miami Grand Prix is no ordinary race. Since its introduction to the calendar, it's grown into one of the most high-stakes, high-profile events of the entire season. It's fast, unforgiving, and unpredictable. A place where reputations are made and championship hopes can shatter in an instant. And in the middle of this pressure cooker, the potential absence of Max Verstappen isn't just a footnote, it's a seismic event. Unlike tracks where Red Bull can cruise to victory, Miami is known for its chaos. Last year's race saw early crashes, mid-race safety cars, and sudden changes in weather that flipped strategies on their heads. It's a place where even the smallest mistake can send a team tumbling down the standings. For Max, who currently leads the championship by a modest but not insurmountable margin, missing Miami would be more than just missing one race. It would give rivals like Perez and Leclerc a golden opportunity to gain ground, and once momentum shifts in F1, it's hard to get it back. More importantly, it would hand psychological leverage to the competition. The paddock is a mind game as much as a driving challenge. If they sense Max is distracted or vulnerable, they'll attack that opening without hesitation. And let's not forget the Constructors' Championship. Red Bull needs every point it can get, especially with Mercedes showing signs of resurgence and Ferrari lurking close behind. A single race without Max could undo weeks of strategic advantage. That's the terrifying reality of Formula One. One weekend off, and suddenly everything is back in play. If Verstappen really does miss Miami, it won't just shake the leaderboard. It could swing the entire balance of the season. This is happening behind closed doors. Red Bull's crisis mode. Inside the Red Bull garage, things are rarely left to chance. Every race, every lap, every pit stop is calculated down to the millisecond. So when news started leaking that Max Verstappen might not make it to Miami, the internal machinery of the team kicked into quiet overdrive. According to insiders, engineers were quickly pulled into emergency simulations. They began running practice scenarios with only one car, Sergio Perez. For a team that has relied so heavily on Verstappen's precision and pace, this sudden need to adapt brought obvious tension. Some even described the atmosphere as unusually strained, with key personnel refusing to make eye contact or answer direct questions. Christian Horner, Red Bull's principal strategist in public as much as on the pit wall, gave his usual polished soundbites, but sharp-eyed observers noticed his tone. Gone was the casual confidence. In its place was a hint of unease. Reporters noted how he refused to mention Verstappen's name directly during pre-race interviews. Some speculated that Red Bull was buying time, hoping that Max would change his mind last minute. But in Formula One, hope is never part of the strategy. The uncertainty has affected more than just race day planning. Sponsors, media teams, and even logistics coordinators have reportedly been told to prepare for both outcomes. And Perez? While he's likely eager for the spotlight, even he knows that a Verstappen-sized hole in the lineup puts immense pressure on his shoulders. One poor showing, and Red Bull's dominance starts to look shaky. In a sport where image and performance are equally vital, Red Bull's current predicament is more than a temporary setback. It's a full-blown internal scramble behind the scenes. But wait, is Max Verstappen pulling back from F1? While fans are focused on whether Max Verstappen will miss one race, there's a bigger question looming beneath the surface, one that might shake the entire sport to its core. Is Max starting to pull away from Formula One altogether? At just 27 years old, he's already a two-time world champion, a global icon, and a generational talent. But behind the wheel isn't the only place where Max has been making moves. Over the past year, his tone in interviews has changed subtly, but noticeably. He's spoken more about balance, burnout, and what life might look like beyond racing. And now, with a newborn in his arms and a future outside the paddock finally within reach, the timing of his possible absence feels less like a blip and more like a pivot. Friends and former teammates have hinted that Max has always been different when it comes to long-term goals. Unlike drivers obsessed with breaking longevity records or chasing legacy through sheer numbers, Verstappen has often said he's more interested in winning well and then stepping away. In past interviews, he even stated that he doesn't want to be racing into his 40s, citing the toll the travel, pressure, and schedule take on his personal life. With this in mind, his current situation takes on a deeper meaning. Missing the Miami GP may not be about a single weekend, it could be the first public sign that his priorities are shifting. Fatherhood changes people, even the fiercest competitors. And for someone who's already climbed the mountaintop, the view from the top might now feel less important than the people waiting at home. Is Max Verstappen writing the next chapter of his life, without Formula One at the center of it? And now Perez, Hamilton, Leclerc, everyone smells opportunity. The moment news began circulating that Max Verstappen might skip the Miami Grand Prix, a quiet wave of anticipation swept through the paddock. For the first time all season, Verstappen's rivals were looking at a weekend without a towering obstacle in their way. Sergio Perez, Verstappen's own teammate and closest challenger in the standings, is perhaps the most directly impacted. Normally cast in Verstappen's shadow, Checo suddenly finds himself in a position where a win wouldn't just be a victory, it could be a statement. If Max isn't there, Perez has the clearest path yet to claw back points and potentially shift the momentum in his favor. But that kind of opportunity brings its own pressure, and one mistake could cost him dearly. Then there's Lewis Hamilton. After a rocky start to the season, he's been gradually finding his rhythm again. For a driver who's built his legacy on seizing rare openings, this is the kind of moment where he could strike. Mercedes has shown improvements lately, and Hamilton's veteran instincts in chaotic races like Miami might give him a critical edge. The same goes for Charles Leclerc and even Carlos Sainz, both hungry for a podium and ready to take advantage of any slip-ups from Red Bull. Beyond individual ambition, the entire constructors' battle could tilt. One Verstappen-free race means massive implications across the board. Points are up for grabs, confidence can shift overnight. And in a sport where mental edge is everything, seeing the king off his throne, if only briefly, has everyone sharpening their weapons. This isn't just a race anymore, it's an opening. And the grid knows exactly how rare those can be. If he misses it, everything changes. The championship is a numbers game, and in Formula One, every race is a chapter in a story that ends with either a legacy or a missed opportunity. If Max Verstappen truly skips the Miami Grand Prix, the statistical implications alone are staggering. Right now, he holds a lead in the driver's standings. But it's not uncatchable. One DNF or absence could slice that gap in half. 2 missed races? That's a full-blown crisis. And Miami isn't just another GP. It's a street circuit notorious for drama, unpredictability, and last-minute shakeups. For Max, not showing up could mean watching his lead vanish in a single afternoon. Let's talk history for a moment. F1 is littered with stories of top contenders who miss races, whether due to injury, family issues, or strategic misfires, and never recovered. From Niki Lauda's fiery crash in 1976 to Michael Schumacher's broken leg in 1999, there are countless cautionary tales of how even the best can be undone by absence. Verstappen may not be physically injured, but missing a race for personal reasons has the same mathematical effect. And it's not just about numbers. The optics of stepping away, however justified, can send mixed signals to sponsors, fans, and the team itself. Red Bull's entire branding revolves around aggression, dominance, and relentlessness. Can they maintain that image without their star driver on the grid? The Miami Grand Prix is shaping up to be more than just another race. It could be the fork in the road where the title battle either becomes a walk for Max or turns into a wild, unpredictable chase for someone else. The engines haven't even started, and already everything is on the line. What happens next could rewrite F1's history. The stage is set and the story unfolding around Max Verstappen feels bigger than any single race. What began as a personal moment, welcoming a newborn, has spiraled into a full-scale shift in the Formula One landscape. Whether he shows up at Miami or not, the mere uncertainty has already changed the psychology of the paddock. Rivals are energized, Red Bull is on edge, and fans are glued to every update. It's rare that one man's absence can reshape the entire narrative of a season. But Max Verstappen isn't just any driver. He's the reigning king of F1, and right now, that crown feels ever so slightly loose. As the Miami GP approaches, everyone's waiting. Will Max walk into the paddock at the last moment, helmet in hand, ready to silence the rumors? Or will we witness a race without the reigning champion giving his rivals the kind of opportunity they've only dreamed about? One thing is certain, this weekend won't just be about who takes the checkered flag. It will be about how a single personal decision ripples across an entire sport. And no matter what happens next, Formula One will never be quite the same.